of October. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in Babane. Rather low temperatures today, very, very inversely composed when you referred to what we saw yesterday, but it is a beautiful and blessed morning indeed. The power of the blessing on a nation. We are rejuiced and rejuvenated after yesterday's national prayer. The theme there being Dibusiso, and what we love to do, myself and Lungelele, when we start the program is to thank the Almighty God for, keeping us alive, and we have seen that from the year start to the year end now as we approach December. It is a blessing indeed to be here on this very same desk with my co-host as we welcome you to this episode of Kusile Breakfast Show. It's going to be an insightful one per usual, but perhaps before we get there, I should allow my colleague here to greet you as well.
Gwenny, I'm well this morning. How are you?
No, good
and good morning to your viewers. Thank you for tuning in. Lomhlekiseni sesama nje ukuthi niphilile. Ngempela sibusisekile itolo mnguni umsebenzi uhambe kahle. National Prayer Service kuhambe kahle konke kakhulu. Thank you for tuning in. Lomhla kunengile siniphathele kona sibe siteka tindzaba taka health, siphinde siteke netindzaba taka ICT. On the program nje namhlanje sibe sicocisana nalabo soke iteko letempilo sibe sikhuluma kabanti ngema health inspections. But before I get into that, I'm going to
yeah, very interesting. You did mention ukuthi indzaba yaka ICT namuhla indzaba lesifuna kuyicoca hlelweni ke lomuhla sifuna nje kubuka indzaba ye technology leqhubekako iadvance cishe umhlaba wonke. Isa-advancer nema-risks nawo-ke ayachubeka ayalurka in our digital spaces. Ngawo-ke sibonile live lakangwane lifaka bo-Cybercrime Act. Cybercrime-ke even lakangwane isezingeni elisedulu kulesikhathi sanyalo. Kanti-ke ifaka ama-threats lamaningi kakhulu etimpilweni tethu, our personal lives, as well as national security nje seyiyonke. We are going to unpack the Computer Crime and Cybercrime Act of 2022. Which is dubbed a game-changing law that draws clear lines in the fight against online threats, from unauthorized access and identity theft to cyberbullying as well as child protection. This act sets out strict measures to safeguard our digital lives. Fiso Vilane from the Eswatini Communications Commission is going to join us this morning to clarify what it is that the act means for yourself, how to stay protected, and why staying informed is critical in today's digital world.
As he has mentioned, Health, we will be joined by Environmental Health Officer Norman Masego. Health inspections, and also what is the point of focus during the exercise to ensure food safety. Restaurants, inspections njalo. Do shop owners adhere to the health regulations? What action is taken for shops that fail to comply? Limited for lebegiwe, and also kuva ukuthi ngabe imigomo yini lelandzelwa sivo mangabe ifuna kubika ngesitolo thide mangabe sitawukhanza ukuthi kunekudla lokonakele noma loso expire. Norman Masego, Environmental Health Officer, will join us lomhlekiseni at 6:30 ukuchazela kabanti ngawo lo msebenzi lona. But kumanje asibukena dile thamba imbili kuma newspapers. Ansile thamba imbili ku Times of Eswatini lomuhla. Windstorm, 117 houses, 621 people and 4 schools were affected. That's a picture of a block of a one-room flat that had its roof blown off during a windstorm that affected most parts of the country on Sunday night. And in other news, woman scalds sister 2 kids with hot water. Elder sister grabs cattle after tiff with a sibling. Aunt says we saw it coming. You can read more on page 2. King declares God will ambush Eswatini's enemies. And in other news, Sikh Education Principal Secretary explains why he won't stop visiting his office. And an update on the Fakata scam in Inyanga, and 2 more suspects have been arrested.
Yeah, going forward to the sports headlines. This is still the Times of Eswatini. After a spirited display against Zimbabwe, Sihlangu Sebnikati is in 90,000 emalangeni bounty. The national team players to enjoy winning bonuses for the first time in over 200 days. An interesting story there. And another one, Nunu Big Debbie blow for birds. Mbabane Swallows will be without gifted attacking midfielder Sizolwethu Nunu Shabalala in the Cracker Jack fixture against arch rivals Mbabane Highlanders next week. The last story, Erik ten Hag has been sacked by Manchester United. Will that fix the many losses, the overwhelming losses that Manchester continues to go through? We don't know. I highly doubt.
Moving on to the Eswatini Observer, your leading headlines: King urges nation to continue trusting God, and that is a picture of His Majesty and Her Majesty Ndlovukazi joined by Dembe, King Maputo and the Prime Minister. In other news, Minister Owen calls for proof PS is fit for duty. As on leave, PS Bheki Gama shows up for work and celebrates his 59th birthday in his office. In other news, storm leaves trail of destruction, and the state wants AKA murder suspects gone.
Sibukele mbili sibuka temidlalo ku-Observer. Indzaba lenkhulu kunato tonke for Africa's football top post EFA back Motsepe. Eswatini endorses billionaire Dr. Patrice Motsepe for CAF presidency. On another story, Rodri wins Ballon d'Or 2024, in which I believe was a snub. In fact, Vinicius should have received that, but anyway. Kulenye Indzaba Mavuso ready for fireworks. Mbabane Derby with the limited and closed playing venues in the country. Premier League of Eswatini Acting Chief Executive Officer Petros Pet Vilagati says they were hoping to have the Mavuso Sports Center available for the big Mbabane Derby. Ramos Kwezi boost for Limping Bull and Bull patrons back early to stay.
Moving on to the Eswatini Daily News, there was a spiritual fire at Mandvulo Hall when His Majesty King made a powerful declarations to the nation of Eswatini. In a powerful sermon delivered at Mandvulo, His Majesty emphasized the critical role of faith and unity among the people of Eswatini. And in other news, Minister Education Owen tells peers to focus on recovery and forget about work pressures.
The Midlalo Eswatini Daily News. Tuesday, EFA proud of Sihlangu. EFA President Peter Samora Simelane confident of maiden Chen qualification for Sihlangu. This is after the 3-0 win over Zimbabwe in preliminary round first leg encounter, a game that was played on Sunday. Another story, Sitsebe Samhlekazi bites the dust in the COSAFA Cup as they failed to win that important game. Manchester United, the losing streak, Manchester United sack Erik ten Hag.
On our newspapers this morning, it's 8 minutes after 6. We'll go for an ad break. Benedict Nzabatekala.
Sithasendlulise kudumisa uyomlisa uphuma uyangena wekunene nanini bofakazi uphumile waya ngaphandle kwale live letinye tinkaphana abuye nato wekunene simbone ehla enyuka nawo wonke nangimathapha avula emabhizinisi
nakaya ngaphandle mind of state Mr Speaker aphuma only if kuyiwelukhethweni ayawucasta for emavote ayawukhanvasa for emavote but sibona thina imbubo emhlaba iya kubantu bayo ayike ofuna livote iyawubasekela iyabakhuthatha ukuthi abasebende babe munye iyawufaka kuthula sitasukuthi umise Mr Speaker lokhu sethembele nokusinemhlaba utawufunza lokuthi vele nasifuna unyawo lolungilo vele kufuna kubiyo kangwane ulandwe nalunyawo nalo ngase libonakele Mr Speaker.
The live leli Mr Speaker sidinga everything that is positive about it and sidinga ukuthi uhulumende abonakale adeliver to complement ema efforts of state. So in other words Mr Speaker silokhudwa lolwandle sithi songa singene kuleyo mainstream politics that direction lesayithethwe head of state.
Noma ngabe ukuliphi office noma ngabe ukuliphi litiko siyakunxusa lokho ukuthi wosina ulala na uvuka kusasa njengoba namhla iteka la parliament wonke lesihhovisi Mr Speaker avuke anjinjile ngoba speaker kumbe statinyikanyisa letitolo.
For us as a legislature, what are the policy changes that we should be prioritizing to make sure that the culture in Gosleskombisayon becomes our daily culture, nanatsi, becomes our way of life? Ngoba sitinkinke ngema procedures lapha lesawathola ngidiphethe asifuni kusuka kuwo kanzi kude la simixa khona.
Echendlovu, it was so amazing. It was just out of this world. Kubona umphathi welive recognizing just ordinary citizens. You wouldn't just imagine. Engcenye kube bekungimi ngabe ngakhohlwa ngalamaswati who did lokuhle kangaka for live.
Njengaloku ingwenyama sesikhombisile ukuthi asiresponde to the concerns of emaswati. Uma sisukuma sibambana kunyento esitaku-achieve silive.
Ishumi nakubili imizuzu ibumbene insimbi yesithupha siphindze sinamukelene bengikwazi kamahlokohla sijabulele nathi indzaba tesiswati imvuna yetemfundo umhlonishwa owenxumalo icela abotishela inhloko kuthi basheshe balethe emaphepha onke lafanele etiko kuteke kusheshe kusebentwe tindzaba letifaka ekhatsi zondle imvuna yethi nelibandla lelicasha abotishela nanalo lende njalo kuteke kukhone kugcwaliswa tikhala letikhona nekuvusetelwa ke kwamagondilaki kwabotishela labasebenta ngawo imvuna beyikhuluma emhlanganweni nebetindzaba emahhovisini ayo eMbabane.
Ngicela kubo teacher abalethe emaphepha lafanele etiko so ukuthi nanga January kungabe sesiba nalama surprises imali akafiki ngesikhathi kudla akafiki ngesikhathi sitacela nje nakuma officials etiko ukuthi asicale nyalo silungiselele January sicele mabhalane kaTSC ungithembisile ukuthi by January nangabe khona mele kulinyiwe khona ama contracts akwentiwe lokho ngesikhathi ukuthi ke nakufika January usebenzi ukhona ekucala and kutaba nelibandla ke lelinye lesitali keeper lento wenda le right sizing kuyobuka before January noba ndakukhumbula ukuthi wathi sinathi kushoda 4000 abotishela wangakhoni kusho lokuthi ngikuphi lo 4000 ibreakdown wanganginiki so sitacela ke lelibandla lobuka le right sizing so that ngaJanuary sitoba sure ukuthi ngikuphi la kushoda khona bangema experts ke batawubambisana na public service umlingani wami kubonakala lokuthi tinto leto sitilungisa kanjani ngaJanuary kungabi nesimo lapho khona zikhaza ukuthi kuvulwa tikolwa botishela abaneli kude boke teacher.
Imvuna yelitiko leti-70 tembuso umhlonishwa amabulala maseko uthi hulumende utawusungula sikhwama semhlala phansi seti-70 njengoba ke kangeke kulunge ukuthi kuhlanganiswe lidlelandvongeni nesikhwama semhlala phansi seti-70 tembuso. Imvuna beyikhuluma eParliamente ngemsombuluko kunembiko.
Ihlalo welikomiti libuke kusebenza kwelitiko leti-70 tembuso etimphungeni sikhulu Zabeni Shiba esekelwe imphunga Lizinkosi ucele ukuthi timphunga temukele umbiko walelikomiti ngeluhambo lebeluya eveni leZambia naseTanzania lapho bawethekela khona lwati ngekushintsha lidlelandvongeni ukuthi libe yi-National Pension Fund kuhlanganiswe nesikhwama semhlala phansi seti-70 tembuso i-Public Service Pension Fund.
Ema-civil servants asatikhanza awasayitfoli nale lump sum kanzi kuqala bebathola ilamsembe sebathola i-direct benefit lapha sebathola i-defined benefit bathatha ke le entity lebese ibabambele lokho babamixe enkantolo basathatha inyathelo vele ukuthi cha ngoba lapha sekuyasiluzisa yafika inkantolo yasi ude lophocelelekile ukuthi angene ngalapha kule social security.
Timphunga ke tidzingidzile lendzaba kabanti.
Se go retreat the baga NPF lapha basichazela ukuthi cha bona ba 100% funding level yabo and basho ukuthi ima assets abo at 5 billion. Then ngena sikhuluma na PSPF at 35 billion to be precise. Kwakuthi ke utawukhona ni SNPF nabakubuka bona kwakuthi athathe lo lenhlathulo enkulu angilolo nyokana lencane yena imide.
My concern umasta bese siyagcuma sihlanganisa lama silos kusengasuku mina ngibena yinye angibekise indzaba yaka Dlela Ndlongeni awise indzala lendzaba leni.
Indvuna yetiko leti-7 tembuso umhlonishwa Mabulala Maseko udzingidze waphindze waniketa timphendvulo temibuto yendlu.
Ngicabanga ukuthi le model yasenango yaseTanzania iyona lekahle lethi lama civil servants akabe bodwana nalaba private sector babe bodwana. However, kuloko lonkuviwa kukhulunywa ke lakhaya kumbe kona engeke utawusebenza ngokuthi kuyobita ukuthi phela kumumqashi public service kube khona la ku contributako eceleni hayi ukuthi awudeducta kule mali le contributor PSPF kube khona kumbe la khiphako kuyoshona ngale kule social security fund lesithi sifuna kuyakha.
Mengameli wetimphunga imphunga Lindiwe Dlamini ubese uyifaka evotini lendzaba indlu yavumelana timphunga tayomukela lo mbiko waleli komiti. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Samkelsuye Khoza ngasimuva Shongwe naBongani Masuku eParliament.
Indvuna yetemfundvo umhlonishwa owenqumalo setfule Naniki Mnisi ukuthi kube nguye lotawubamba kuba ngumabhalane lomkhulu kuleli tiko.
Sesibona kufanele silitiko lokuthi lenzaba aseside jubana kuseyiphumela semaphepheni kunengi lokukhulumako litiko solo alivakali ukuthi lithini lona sesithi ke ngindvuna lengabuketa ukuthi asengilusa lapha etiko asengikonzise lenzaba indzaba yambhokane baqashi bakhe Mbhokane lokuyi Civil Service Commission baqashi bakhe babona ukuthi Mbhokane uphathekile baqashi bakhe ke basikubona lokuthi awu umlomzala uphathekile base bayambhalela babhalela nelitiko balatisa litiko ukuthi babona ukuthi Mbhokane kusho baqashi bakhe babona ukuthi Mbhokane akasekaye ekhaya on paid leave for 6 months umholo utawuchubeka solo ke awuthola kungathi nasathi ivela yena kusongcono utaphindza abuyele kumcashi wakhe lamcasha ukuthi awu mina sengiva ngathi sengcono bese ke lokubhekekile ukuthi umcashi wakhe utabese ke uthinza litiko phindze futhi ke bakhiphe i-instrument umphathi wakhe ke Mbhokane asisho bekunene ukuthi i-instrument yaphuma ka Civil Service Commission leniketa mabhalane lomncane ukuthi aka-acte for 6 months indzaba ke yabo PS soke siyati ukuthi tindzaba tabo PS tikhukelwa kuphi leyo process ke yavele yalandzelwa njengoba
Kunesidingo sokuthi emave elivekati le-Afrika aqinise tinhlelo tekonga imvelo nemithelela eguquka kwesimo selitulu kubukwe ukuthi nekusebenziswa kahle kwebuchwepheshe be-artificial intelligence nanabo bubukisiswe lokhu kuvetwe imphunga umvane Nkosi Mphathwa ngesikhathi yethula umbiko wenhlangano yelikomiti letimphunga lakumave lase-Afrika nase-Arab kunembiko.
Titsena tichubeka nemsebenzi lohlelo lelisuku timphunga ngemsombuluko imphunga umfane Nkosi Mphathwa ushukumisile endlini lehloniphekile ukuthi timphunga temukele tiphase umbiko wemhlangano welikomiti letimphunga lakumava lase-Afrika nase-Arab yobo banjelwe event le-Equatorial Guinea lapho esekelwe khona imphunga umfane Nkosi Ntfombi Yenkhosi.
Kwakhona tindzaba ngoba etabo environment tabuka nakhona lapho ukuthi i-environmental impact ingamitigatwa kanjani kwabonakala ukuthi ukhulu lefuna sikwende singemava se-Africa kuyabita ukuthi sale sithi njinjela thine kwakuthi mhlambe lokuba green sale standard thine singasayo simhlambe sitawubuka lapha nalapha avele sinjinje taba khona tinzaba ke tabo artificial intelligence bonakala ukuthi ingabe athini lama challenges nema opportunities because every coin has got two sides senda njani sibambisana kuphi for the betterment of our African countries.
Lo mhlangano wabomake kwafuna ukuthi bakhala bathi beyafuna ukuthi bomake babe baningi kungachamuki nje ngathi uchamuka bobabe kuphela kube nabo babe kakhulu kuleyo ndzawo leyo masekuhlangano.
Timpunga ke ukhulumisile lo mbiko wale committee.
Artificial intelligence lesibona ukuthi technology vele lobona ukuthi iyasonzela nje sithi ngaloko ukuthi mhlambe sibe netindlela ukuthi si regulate kanjani.
Siboma ke eParliament siyathanza ukuthi sisekele le report yemphane inkosi ngoba ikhulumisa tindzaba leti senhlitweni yethu si Women's Parliamentary Caucus.
It is us and through such meetings that we are able to positively portray an image that befits the country njengasibona thina.
Ngaphambi kokuthi timpunga tigucise indlu ngemsombuluko temongelelo lombiko waleli committee etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Samkelsuye khoza nasimuva Shongwe nabongani Masuku eParliament.
Bafuyi betinkomo ngaphansi kwemphakathi wakaZombotse emuva bathi kunesidingo sekubuketwa kwemuthi losanjetiswa edibhini letinkomo kulomphakathi njengoba ke akasasuki emakhadana emfuyweni mayibuya kuyawudibha. Labafuyi baphinze bathi banesifiso sekuba nalenye inhlobo elidibhile kulidibhi lespray njengoba kule nhlobo lekhona yiningi imfuyo lebalahlekelako ngekwekuthi seyinzala ayisakhoni kuhlamba kahle edibhini.
Siswati sithi imfuyo ngilona bhangele eMaswati njengoba isigabeni lesithe imfuyo yathengiswa ngaleyo ndlela abafuyi bakhona ukuhlangabetana netidzingo temindeni yabo. Bafuyi labangephansi kwemphakathi wakaZombotse emuva bathi kunetinkinga labahlangabetana nato lesetenda nemakethe engabathengeli kahle imfuyo yabo.
Besicela ukuthi uhulumende akenyuse lizinga kancane kulomuthi akusesilo esithine sikhule ungiwo. Siyamcela ke uhulumende ukuthi akakakhuphule lizinga lokuthi kusukela amakhatane awesuke emakhatane siphinde sithathe lo muthi wokufutha likhula sifuthe letinkomo lapha esibayeni ngokuthi amakhatane awesuki. Sithi akasibhekelele uhulumende siyamcela ukuthi lemfuyo yethu seyibulawa ngilamakhatane.
Sihlose kuthola lidibhi lespray bube ipassage nje leza kwakhiwa zikhona inkomo zingene phakathi bese kutholakala ama pipe side to side lamanye aqhamuka ngaphansi lamanye aqhamuka phezulu. Inhloso yethu ke isekutheni leli dibhi leli lesilisebenzayo kwamanje sengamathuna maningi inkomo lezifile lapha. Inkomo lezi ezindala azikhona ukudibha okanye mayigquma ihlala ingena phakathi tholakala ukuthi ayisakhona ukuphuma.
Umthuthukisi Precious Nkonazi ubese uphendvula sicelo sebafuyi sekuba nelidibhu lespray race.
Hulumende bekase ngake walifanda leli leli lespray wakho ngala eshiselweni. Tinkomo mhlambe bangathi spray kodwa ke lo mtimba wenkomo lo la ngaphasi utawusala ugcine ungakaspray kahle. Ngiyacabanga lokuthi bafuyi bangaba nawo lomnye umqondo wekuthola lidibhi leli spray yako noma ke lenye indlela ngoba thine vele leli lesivamise kulakha lekuthi tinkomo tingene tigeze diphinze diphume futhi lokusho ukuthi digezeka wonke umtimba.
Ngekusho komabhalane lomkhulu etiko letekulima Sydney Simelane baye batfola itikhalo ngemithi lesebenziswa emadibhini leyatiwa ngetactic. Simelane uthi ngemva kokwenta luphenyo baye batfola ukuthi kuyendeka kulelo dibhi ukusebenziswa esikali lesincane semuthi kanti emanti maningi lokubese kwenta lo muthi angasebenzi kahle ngale kwaloko lo muthi usezingeni lelifanele. Thando kuhle Mdluli endzabeni Eswatini TV Zombotse emuva.
Tangomathelitulu texwayisa sive ukuthi siphephe kulandzela timvula letingahle tibe nemandla letiphindze kethambisane nembane loyingoti lusuku lisachubeka. Sangoma selitulu uphephisa Sihlongonyane sithi lo mbane netimvula kutawuchubeka busuku bonke kute kube lusuku lwakusasa. Simo sibukeka sitawuba ngcono ngalesithathu.
Imvula ingoti naseline kakhulu kanje sekwenteka ke leto tikhukhula. Kanti ke umbane wona oyingoti ngekuthi uvele wona nje wakuthola kabi unokuthi usishiye nasemhlabeni noma ke ukulimade. Kanti ke lokunye leke kube khona kanje sikuba khona lesangcotho nawe sithi hey lawo matshe lokunye kuvele sikumbe ngabanga lokuvuma kakhulu. Kanti ke lokhu khanda ukuthi lokuphindze kube ingoti kuba ngumoya. Umoya ke uba ingoti kakhulu kuma structures kumbe tintweni letitsite ne kwemapola gezi kumbe mathayela phakame liphahla liphakame ngiloko nje ikhanda ukuthi isikhathi esiningi kulesikhathi lesi sekucala kwehlobo nalisangena into etinto khanda ukuthi sine into sesikhuluma ngato ukuthi emaswati abokucaphela izinto ezikanjalo nasesibuya namuhla sikhathi ukuthi liqhubekeke lishise kumbe nyalo emini kumbe nasemini nisihamba amanzi inguquko siyibhekile lapho sekusenza lama flat awubanga khona kuvuma. Lamafu-ke lawa angachamuka kumbe ngisentshonalanga lasibona khona lithuba ngoba khona ukuthi angachamuka entshonalanga phindze amanye siyabona achamuka ngakhona-ke enyakatho agcine awuphuma ngasenyakatho lesempumalanga atawucala-ke lamanye ngasentshonalanga sho ukuthi angafuna ukuthi abe mbacambili ngasentshonalanga abonakala nakhona nasempumalanga abonakala kuphuma angena akheka aphindze aphuma futhi ngakhona. Nasikhuluma ndzaba te-hail noma-ke lesangcotho nasikhuluma ngemafu lamisane kuthuma emafu hambisane kudvuma isiba khona sangcotho lesakhekako lapho kulawo mafu olonke lifu leli nako kudvuma isangcotho siba khona ukuthi sishana ukuthi siba lapha etulu noma sigcina sikhona kufika phasi nangale moya ivuma kahle khanda ukuthi siyafucika sigcine sifikile phasi. Namhla emathuba esiloko kungenteka akhona ukuthi kungenteka letindzawo khanze ukuthi live lakithi likhulu liphindze libe ncane ngosimo sethu ngoba lifu linye lingangena lifike limbathe lonke livela kangwane ngiko khonza sikukhona ukuthi ngathi litawugcobe inhlangano lingagcobe ngamanzini lokuze sikhona ukubona naselakhekile lifu ukuthi bese lihamba ngayiphi ke indlela sesingasho ukuthi kulo 30 minutes lotawo silibona ngasembabane but lo 30 minutes landzelayo lingahle lisonzele speak lisuke selakhekile kwanyalo sizinje livenda kangwane likhona lithuba lokuthi lakheka lelifu lebangakuvuma nalembane sangcotho singaba khona lapho phindze futhi nalo moya lokhanda ukuthi uhamba nalelo lifu ungenda ukuthi la sigcina sithi khona siphepho nohamba nalelo lifu libanga lokuvuma khanzi uba mkhulu kakhulu lalendlula emva kwalokho phindze kube kahle ngokhanza ezinye tindzawo khanza ukuthi ngalo kusha kumbe ke nalo mbane lo ingoti khanzi sineke sengcotho siba khona khanzi sekuhlangane cishe konke kanye kanye ngikuthi emaswati ahlala acaphele lesimo leso kunyalo lesimo lesinaso.
Tindzaba temidlalo likhethelo lesive laboma-ke Sithebe Samhlekazi sikhale phansi emidlalweni waso wesibili kuKhosafa yalonyaka ngesikhathi-ke sitholana etulu nelive leNamibia imidlalo wekugcina weGroup A kuKhosafa yalonyaka. Umqeqeshi waleli khethelo Bongani Makhukhula uthi kunyenti labakufundzile kulo mchudzelwano walonyaka. Anzike ngakulenye indzaba mengameli wenhlangano leyengamele ibhola kuleli Peter Simelane uthi kungakapheli umnyaka losetulu live litawube likhona kusebenzisa tinkundla talapha ekhaya ekutheni tidlalise imidlalo yeCAF kanye neFIFA. Simelane bekakhuluma nalomsakato embabane. Anzike kulokunye ilunga lePhalamende lenkhundla kaZombothe emuva umhlonishwa Ntando Mkhonda liyala badlali bebhola labadlala noma-ke liyala abadlali bebhola labadlala ngaphansi kwenzebe ibhola lesekelwe inkampani iMontigny kulendzawo ekuthenini babe ngemahlahlandlela ekuhambisa umlayeto wekuvikela kushiswa kwemahlathi kulommango. Mkhonda bekhuluma emcimbini wekuhlomelisa abadlali labahlabene kule league. Tingakwenza batekucala sitawubahlola emakethe sitawubuya masinyane sicocisane nebetempilo.
kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi.
Aba research bafunze.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sente ukukhicita lokusemndeni.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 76222000 or dial *007*3*7#, or you can use Eswatini Imali. And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any NetBank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
Welcome back. Sivusele nawo losanza kusivulela abesivetile nasingena ehlelweni ukuthi sithabe sikhuluma ngetindzaba tetempilo ikakhulukazi nje ama health inspections. Sina health environmental officer etiko letempilo Norman Maseko kusivetela nje sijomiseke ukuthi nabasenda lama exercise lawa yini kahle kahle I point of focus yini labafuna ukuyitfola nabasoke benda ama health inspections, and also nje to ensure food safety yini inzima lekumele ukuthi idlalwe titolo kanye nema restaurants lathengisa kona kudla. Sikuvusele Maseko sebanga ukuthi benasilo mhla ekseni nilitiko letempilo I-exercise lebaluleke kakhulu lena ngoba kumele ukuthi nenesiqiniseko sokuthi ama restaurants netitolo kudla labakuthengisako kuphephile aka-expire konke kuphilile. Ngabe vele kuba leyanganani ukuthi vele lama health inspections niwabambe njalo njalo?
Ngivusele babukele emakhaya libito lami nginomeno Maseko ngisuka kiyo iMinistry of Health ngaphasi kwe Department of Environmental Health. Kubaluleke kakhulu ukuthi eMaswati adle kudla lokuphephile ngaso sonke isikhathi. Ngani ngoba sizama ukuthi emalayini etibhedlela mane anciphe kudla uma ngabe akaphephi vele kutawanza tifo. Indlela ke lesisebenta ngayo thina siMinistry of Health siyaye sibe nawo lama routine inspections sothi lapho siyaye sitivakashele titolo nema restaurant ngaso sonke isikhathi, but ngalesinye isikhathi sihambe sente ama inspections for I-grant of I-trading license. Lesinye isikhathi siyaye inspection for I-renewal of I-trading license. Shothi nje akhona ema standards la ufuna ukuthi bahlale bakiwo labantu laba betitolo nalama ema restaurant ngoba lokumcoka kakhulu ngokuthi lokudla kuphephe kona kwabo ngile mali kepha lokudla kwalesive.
Yeah. So nasikhuluma ngekudla lokuphephile nje ngibekise nje kuphekwe namhla ekseni ngabo 6. I-restaurants noma ke sitolo lesi prepare ukudla sisengakuthengisa yini kusasa ngabo 8 ekseni. Kudinga ukuthi kube nesikhathi singanani ukuze ukukhokhe emashelfini.
Asingicale nje la kutheni yini lesiyibuka konje nasiya kwenda I-inspection ema restaurants. Ma restaurant uma ngabe nje sifika khona sifuna kubona ukuthi ingabe lokudla lendlela labakupreparisha ngayo usafe yini, kukhona nakulesithi yi-linear flow. Shothi nje nasikhulumisa indaba ye-linear flow sicala le ku delivery area sibuka ukuthi ihlantekile yini lendzawo la kudeliverwa khona lokudla. Sisuka delivery area siya ku storage. Ku storage ke sihlukene kabili, kune dry storage, kune wet storage. Dry storage ngilapho khona utakhanza ukuthi kunabo rice, ma dry goods. Then I wet storage ngilapho khona khanza ukuthi kusetshenziswa ama freezer nema fridge for I cold storage. I cold storage ke ihamba cishe lingazi ukuthi umgamo ngoba sibuke nale calibration yala ma fridge ngoba lama fridge uma ngabe akakalibrate kahle futhi abalandzeli lemigomo yalokubanza nalokushisa utakhanza ukuthi tifo setiyachakela noma tifo setiba khona ekudleni. Sengcele lapho ke bese sesibukana kule bathi food preparation area. Lapho kona lokudla sekuyalungiselela ukuthi kungakaphekwa. Lapho ke sibuka kakhulu na kulesithi I cross contamination. Asifuni ukuthi itifo leti suka ngala kudla kuseselihlata kubhicane nekudla losekuvuthiwe losekuredi ukuthi abantu bakudle. So la kule food preparation khona siye nje sibuke kabandi ukuthi engabe le cultural labayisebenzisako le mikhwa nani engabe vele ingilehlandekile yini futhi engabe I stainless steel ngoba le stainless steel sona siyakhona lokuwasheka. Sengceke ku food preparation sesiya ke ku cooking area lokudla sekuyaphekwa kunema temperatures latsite lesiyayiswa swagazi nakhona athi kudla mabakupheka kufuna kufike na temperature nayo ngani ngoba phela sinako lothi manje ke nakudla lamagciwane ayafa kuna temperatures lahlukahlukene. Sengceke ku cooking area siye ku serving area nakhona ku serving area sithi manje ke nalokudla aqhubeke kube kudla lokushisako ngalamanye amagama sithi kube piping hot. That is why sitaba nemawoma noma ke sibe nezinto degrate njengabo microwave. Ngiko nje kumcoka kakhulu lesiye sibuke lesikubuka konke kakhulu kabandi inhlandeko kuthi ngabe vele labantu labena lokudla bona bahlandekile ni hygiene yabo. Tandla bayatigeza yini ngoba thina sikhuthata ukuthi tandla batigeze ngaso sonke isikhathi. So nje empeleni kungaba kwangazi ukuthi kungaba ngathi kune timer etahle bakhumbuta labantu ukuthi nyaloke sisenda I-hand washing sigeza tandla ngoba incumbi yale tifo tihamba ngale tandla. Uma ngabe le tandla tengakahlobi kumalula ukuthi sithelele lokudla letifo bese bantu ke sebayakuthola kugula ngaleyo ndlela. Ngengceke ngiye etitolo ke khona sibuke labo expiry date sothi nje ihlukane kathathu expiry date khona nakulesithi I-sell by date, I-used by date noma ke expiry date. Solo lento leto tisho yona I-food safety. Lokunye ke lesikubuka ku letitolo sibuke singabe letikotela tikho dented yini vele. Na dented usho ukuthi engabe timonqokile noma tikamonqoko. Ngoba nangabe tikotela timonqokile la khathi lesikotela khona nakule bathi ithini. Shothi nje I-preservative noma I-coating lento akuthi lokudla kungasheshi kubole. Na isimonqoka lesikotela iyakhwesha lethini bese lokudla sekureactor ke nanakule sithi I-can. Nakureactor ke sekwendeka ukhanze lesikotela sakho sikhanze sesicumbelene ngazuthi sinemoya la khathi noma ukhanze ukuthi le damage ngase sekuqala I-rusting la kulesikotela. Tonke letifo letibanga tifo lesinye saletifo sithi I-botulism shothi nje pheceleti bathi yini I-Clostridium botulinum noma I-Clostridium preferens. Tonke letinto lesi siyadibuka sibuke ke ne-language kuthi ngabe le branding lokudla kubrandwe kahle yini ngeke uthenge kudla longakwati ukuthi kubhalwe kuthini noma angeke ufike esitolo uyothenga esikotela sefish but ukhanze ukuthi alikho leli phepha le branding lesho ukuthi lena ifish lena lela khasi ngoba uthi asinaso sekhaya bese soba nenkinga sofuna ukujikisa kana angeke usakhona ukujikisa. Lokumcoka nje lesiyayisikhuthathe kubathengi noma emaswatini ukuthi manje ke nabakhanza kudla etitolo kushiphisiwe isikhathi esiningi sekusonzelele expiry date afike umuntu bese so uthenga kudla lo ngebuningi ngalokuthi ubona le expiry date noma khanzi expiry date akakayiboni but uthenga lokudla ngobuningi ubona ukuthi kushiphisiwe lokudla kuna sekuyom expire ekhaya kanti kudla lo expire sithi akukho safe ukuthi kungadliwa ngumuntu.
Yeah, kuyingondi kanganani vele ukuthi umva ngadla kudla lokho expire.
Njengoba nje kubekisela wona sisi nganaba botulism lengicetha kubasho nyalo. Kudla lokho expire kuyingodi. Sothi nje umuntu kuya ngale ndalo yakhe umuntu ukuthi ingabe lesivikela mdimba sakhe le immune system yakhe angaba affected yini. Labanye ke into abadla kudla lokho expire bakhali bevese bakhala ngithi babulawa siso. Labanye ke into abadla kudla lokho expire but bayive le food quality akusasiko mani lokudla lokho konke kunebungoti kubanga bungoti kubanga kugula ukwanzisa nalamalayini lena edibhedlela le sithi siyawancanza.
So njengoba nine nje uceza uzonje masoke ukuthi vele nisabalele event lonke niyadivakashela titole kakhulu kati leto letsemakhaya ngifuna ukubuza ke ukuthi ingabe yini lenitfolako kahle kahle manisaphuma ngene la ititolo banikati bayalandzela nivele imigomo nemithetho lebekiwe litiko letempilo ngibekise nje ekakhulu nje ititolo letsemakhaya ukhanze ukuthi some of lama items kane dust lokusho ukuthi kathi ahlala so nanifika nikhanza simo sikanjalo tinyathelo tini lithathako.
Thina nje sigunyatwa yi-Public Health Act ngiyo lesiniketa imandla ukuthi singene etitolo emakhaya noma singene noma ngabe ngikuphi lapho khona sibona ngazi ukuthi kunebungoti khona. Lo mthetho ngiyo ke lo bese wakhana lama regulations lesithi ma food regulations. Asinika emandla lama regulations ukuthi singangena etitolo sifike sikhondem lokho kudla lesikubona ukuthi ku-expire. Asengibekise nje lesiyayi sikhanze kakhulu lama etitolo tsemakhaya ukhanze ukuthi lokudla ku damaged shothi se exposekile for instance ukhanze libhokisi lema cornflakes selidamagekile noma sekuvuleke imbobo noma sengisi irice sekuvuleke imbobo nakuvuleke imbobo sekuba exposed lokudla to tindvo litsite titase tibangathi ku react noma bese sekubanga bangathi kuba nekugula so lo mthetho uyasiphocelela ke ukuthi sikuthathe lokudla ngenhlanhla lenhle ke sinabo ubudlelwane ke nabo masipala lesisebenzisana nabo lokhanza athi kunema landfill for instance nje lambabane sinabo ubudlelwane namasipala wasembabane lapho khona sihamba sikulahle khona le ku landfill yasembabane lokudla nakhona nasiyokulahla lokudla sifike sibuke ukuthi vele engabe vele kuyacrasheka inokudla ngoba phela kunebungoti ebantwini sikhumbule ukuthi bantu bayakhona siphindze bahambe bayoscavenger bathathe kona lokho kudla so senasiqiniseko sekuthi vele lokudla kuyacrasheka abantu bangadli kudla lokutawubanga ingoti edimpilweni tabo.
Yeah, so ngifuna singene kakhulu nje kula kuma complaints esive ukuthi ngabe sive sona nangabe sesikhale kaningi mhlambe ngesitolo thide ngibekise nje ku social media kunesitolo labakhala ngaso letinye tetitolo nje letinkhulu letithengisa kudla lapha even bayakhala ukuthi kwangathi bathengisa kudla lokungasiko fresh ingabe ke kule situation leyo ngabe nzima yinini lenidlalako baka environmental health nibambisene nabo masipala.
Njengoba bengisho nje sisi ukuthi nangabe nje kungena ama complaints asengingena ama complaints e-office noma siyayibona i-tip off labo social media sihambe siye kuleto titolo letinalo bungoti sifike sende yona le routine inspection sifike futhi labantu siyabafundzisa kahle kahle ngoba phela sikhumbule ukuthi nabo bazama impilo sifike siba health educate labantu sibafundzise ukuthi kufuna ukuthi bakwende njani kudla for instance nje etitolo kunanakulesithi first in first out labantu sibafundzise ukuze lokudla kwakho kunganok expire practice naku lesithi first in so sikudla lokungena ekuqala akuhambe ekuqala kudla lokungena emuva akuhambe emuva ngeshiyashiyana kwabo la ama restaurant ke khona nakhona ke siyaya sifike ke sibafundzise labantu sibendise nalabo hand washing sibafundzise netindlela ke ukuthi kudla upreserve kanjani nekuthi ke kudla ungenda njani ke ukuthi kudla ungadikhanzi so upheke kudla lokunengi lokutabe sisoyakulalisa abantu sebakhala ngese lokudla kwalapha akushayi kahle kukhona nje lokunyele siyayisibafundise kona la ama restaurant bane tendency ethi bakhiphe inyama efridging nabayikhipha inyama efridging bayisebenzise baphindze bayibisele efridging nangakusasa phindze bende njalo le temperature variation ibanga ukuthi manje ke nalamagciwane anze uyayikhipha uyayibisela efridging uyayikhipha uyayibisela efridging so siye bese sesifike sesiyabafundisa singena lapho ke sesiyabafundisa ukuthi lokhu ningakwenda kanjani ukuthi le variation yale temperature bese ibanga ukuthi lamagciwane abe khona sekuyavakala ukuthi lokudla sekuspoiled bangenda kanjani so nje siye sibafundisa okay lokudla lenyama ningayiphoshina nikhiphe ngetigaba hayi ukuthi kudla ukuthi nikupheke konke kanye bese seniyakubeka futhi ngoba vele kutawuluza le quality bese abantu ke sebaya complain ngoba seku rotten lokudla.
Yeah, engaba akhona inama instances lapho khona mhlambe nitawubuyela endzaweni lana akhondema khona kudla ukwenza ukuthi labanye bachuba inkhani mhlambe nangasho kanjalo bachubeka bakuthengisela ukudla lokho expire lokungasiko fresh ngabe bese ni landzela tipikete inyathelo according to lo mthetho.
Njengoba ngisho nasi sicala la ekubafundziseni abantu Sibafundzise phinde sibuyele kaningi nasesibona ukuthi asekuyasehlula sesiyafika lapho sesiyakondema ke sesiyakuthatha lokudla njengoba bengisho ukuthi lo mthetho uyasigunyata athi singakuthatha vele sihambe siyokuchitha ngalendlela lengiyichazile. Uma ngabe ke lo muntu unekusilwisa siyakhona athi bese sisebenzisana nawo emaphoyisa embube ukuthi ede atosilekelela ngoba nangu umuntu akafuni ukugcina umthetho ngoba phela usuke aphula umthetho loyo muntu. Ayafika ama instances la kanjalo sigcina sesisebenzisa vele umthetho. Kepha nje ikhona indlela lesiyisebenzisako siliteko letempilo siyesiqala nomfu simbhalele ama notice simniketele noma sikhathi silungisa na inkinga nayi levela ngalesitolo sakho noma ngale restaurant yakho simniketele le time frame ukuthi asisinje 3 months in 3 months time ube phela nawe solungisile phinde sibuye ke ngoba phela ku routine sibuye after no 3 months phinde sitobuka lokuthi ingabe lesimo so lo muntu so se resolveile yini nangabe akazi resolve ngapho ke sekhansi sesicala khona ke sesimbhalela abo public notice sesimbeka licala kahle kahle ethi akafuni ukugcina umthetho wakwangwane singahamba size sifike ngisho enkantolo naloyo muntu vele aboshwe afayiniswe leyo mali lekhona emthethweni.
Kukwendeka lapha even ukuthi ukhanze ukuthi bamfu bathenge ukudla esitolo thide bese bayagula sekubonene nje South Africa ukuthi badali bebagwade kakhulu balahla ukudla lokufaka ekhathi wona lama chips lawa makipkip ingabe seke sakubona yini imvule kanje yendeka lapha eSwatini.
Kuhle kwendeka sisi for instance le ma restaurant la emakhaya ubantu ubone abantu bede esibhedlela nje ngoba thina nathi sikanekise khona la kulama clinics la emakhaya ubone abantu bede esibhedlela bakhala ngesisu labantu laba so sibakhala ngemsheko labantu laba so zama ke kulandzelela so nalo sithi I tracing so landelela so uzama ukuthola le source singabe vele labantu bagula kangaka nje bakuthatha kuphi lokugula so trace akuhamba uzofike ke kuleyo restaurant bese mhlambe so khanza ukuthi so uyabuka ke indzaba temandi ngoba phela sihamba sibuke nemandi ukuthi ngabe vele lamandi laba wasebenzisako ahlandekile ngoba sifuna ukuthi phinze abantu badle imandi lahlandekile uyukhanze ke ukuthi le source of water labayisebenzisako labantu la kulama restaurant especially emakhaya ukhanze akasiwo lawa lahlandeke kahle sesenda ke lawo maminzi ke ukuthi sesiyabafundisa ukuthi bangenda kanjani ukuze ukuthi emanti abo noma kudla kwabo kube nginokuhlandekile.
Yeah. Ingabe nje sona sive ke nangabe sifuna kupota mhlambe leso sitolo thide anonymous bayakhona enigwenda lokho kini baka environmental health.
Njengoba ngisho nje sisikanekisile la ema clinics sinema office lama clinics sothi nje sisebenzela clinical office lethu ngoba kukhona kunye sikwenda kona la ama clinics bayeta abantu bato pota anonymously uthi yathi na restaurant nayi noma nasisitolo nasi asisiphathi kahle manje into sethi expire kakhulu kuyendeka ke lesinye isikhathi ukhanze ukuthi letinto nje ti expire ukani ucedza kusuka khona asathi lokuthi singabe kwendeka kanjani noma labantu baniketana bayabona ukuthi nasi sengcenga la asathi ukwendeka kanjani nasi sengcile phinze abuye ama complaints sayi kudla expire kanti phela sicedza kusuka khona. So vele kumcolo ukuthi kwangathi singahlale sikhona la fieldini njalo siye sithi check le titolo.
Yeah. So nithi-checka kanganani vele how frequent do you do it?
Shothi nje lokumcoka kakhulu wena sisi angeke uthi utahamba uye esitolo uyo-checka isitolo ungahambi ngelithulusi la hulumende imoto ya hulumende ngeke uthathe imoto yakho uhambe ngayo nalabantu bangavele bacabanga ukuthi lokudla kodwa isebenzisela. Shothi nje uqala ulungisela ama resources akho kahle ubone ke ukuthi hayi so right ke so ready phinze ulungise netigcebhezana takho phela i-identification ukuthi babone ukuthi vele wena nembala usuke eteko letempilo walungisa ke lama resources akho aba kahle uyakhona ke kufinyelela noma ngabe kunini etitolo nase ema restaurant.
Ngabe ma restaurant nje itolo bangatiphephisa kanjani bona ukona siqiniso sekuthi mhlambe bayahambisana nalama regulations labekiwe litiko letempilo ngibekise nje kushelela kuma floors faulty equipment yinda bangena kona siqiniso sekuthi konke kuhamba kahle ukudla kuphephile ku fresh konke kuhamba kahle.
Sinayo i-checklist yethu lesiyaye sihambe nayo lapha kuma restaurant nje kakhulu sibaxwayisa labantu sibashiyele futhi na i-copy ye-checklist yethu ukuthi nathi into ofuna ngihlale ntigadzile nitawubuka ukuthi engabe vele emabonza yenu ma restaurant nje siyesikhutha ethi la mabonza akabe washable that is why ma restaurant awukhanza ukuthi emabonzane ema tiles noma apendwe nga all paint sifuna ukuthi la mabonza abe washables sifuna ukuthi manje ke na lama floors nawo akabe washables sifuna ukuthi nale ceiling ibe khona ngani ngoba idlala lichaza thide ekuvikeleni emagundvane nemaphela Siyayeke sifuneke ukuthi babe ne-program ukuthi bangayenda kanjani i-vector control khona la kulama restaurant ngani ngoba lamaphela nemagundvane athi lokatani nawo lakhona kuhambisa tifo shothi nje maphela nemagundvane angcolile la lemitimba yawo uma ngabe akhona e-restaurant vele abantu batawugula siyeke sifune ke ukuthi babe khona babe nayo ke i-program ye-waste management la kulama restaurant kuthi ngabe vele litibita abo bantu bangati manager kanjani siye sifune ke nekuthi li drainage system yabo engabe vele bangayilungisa njani ngoba phela sithi kunena i drainage nayo le ehambisa lamanti esithi grey water sothi ngilamanti lawa labawasha ngawo teacher phinze kunana i drainage le hambisa i black water sothi mande mangcoliso lawo siyaye sibakhuthathe ke sibakhuthathe na leti mpahla labatigqokako sithi manje ke na ma restaurant nje kakhulu abagcoke phela i-apron lengathi i-light colored itosheshe ibonakale ukuthi manje ke na seyifuna kuwasha seyingcolile futhi ke siyalandzelela ke lokuthi sibuke ukuthi ngabe vele bayatiwasha netimpahla lokunye ke njengoba nje sikhulumisa indaba ye-personal hygiene asifuni ukuthi manje tinwele tibe exposed nabasasebenza lapha ema-restaurant ungaze ukhanze uthenga kudla kwakho ukhanze sekunetinwele nabobhuti ke labasebenza ema-restaurant tilevu siyaye sikhuthathe ukuthi abatihule noma bafake nakulaba kufaka la ukuvikela silevu singahohlokeli ekudleni bosisi vele labasebenza ema-restaurant tingalo vele asiticeli ngani ngoba tingalo phela tihaparisha emagciwane lamaningi na ubuka nje tingalo uyubona isithi imnyamana vele tingalo asiticeli kuma-restaurant nemaringi ke nemacici tonke letinto leto tihaparisha lokungcola bese kungasibangela kugula la ekudleni kwethu
ya uthinthe indzaba yetilwane ama-cockroaches amaphela la yabakhona kumele ukuthi banikati betitolo bawacaphele kuneletinye tindzawo ke tengicibeleka nje ama-restaurants ngibekise la fuye mhlambe tinja namakati nansahla nje la kule restaurant kunaletinje letihamba kungabe lokho kusafe yini ukuthi banikati bakwende
lo mthetho wethu vele uyagwema lokuthi manje ngatinja nemakati ngaba khona kuma-restaurant thine lesiyaye sikufundzise kabanti nje kuma-restaurant ukuthi manje ke na wenda le pest control ase uzame lokucala ngalo ukuthi uhlandeke la kule restaurant yakho wena ngani ngoba emagundvane nemaphela sikhathi lesinengi letino leto imbangela yato ngilokuthi akukahlandeki kahle kunetibi teacher atiwashwa ngilokwana lokho asiyesicale lapho ukuthi asesicaleni ke sina senda press control asesisuse nje asesisuse letibi asesisuse lokungahlandeki la restaurant asesente silandzele indlela le kahle nasesihlulekile ke lapho sesingahamba ke sente naku le sithi ke i-chemical application sesisewavumela ke nawo lama chemicals ukuthi bangawasebenzisa ngoba phela vele asifuni kuwabona la magundvane nalamaphela nakhona khona lapho asifuni basebenzise ama-chemicals lanebungoti la econtroleni lamaphela nalamagundvane ngani ngoba phela lama-chemicals angakhanzakala sekafikile nawo ekudleni
no kuyavakala sibonga kakhulu ngumaseko loyo nomen lo environmental health officer etikole temphilo asivetela nje sithombe esema-inspections labaye bawabambe nama-findings timvukela batitfolako basavakashela letindzawo leto yaveta ukuthi vele letinye titolo banikati betitolo abawulandzeli umgomo kanye nemithetfo lebekiwe litikole temphilo ukuthi kudla kumele kuhlale ku-fresh kuhlale kuphephile kepha-ke bayacela sive ukuthi uma ngabe kukhona sitolo abafuna kusipota bavele khona ka-environmental health assessel careful sitawube ne-traffic update.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. Discover just how far you go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience in the kingdom.
Asiphindze silemukele ngo5 minutes before 7 o'clock. Sawufuna kuva simo semgwaqo lomhla ekseni na Inspector Sehlo Dlamini. Inkosi asikuvusele lomhla ekseni khambeka kanjani emigwaqweni?
Nguvusele emthombeni ngikize ngivusele nabo bonke lebabukela wona umsakazo iChannel S ekuseni namuhla.
Kuhambeka kanjani emigwaqweni namuhla?
Emthombeni imigwaqo yelive sesihlolile. Ikakhulu nje ke lesikubonile lokungaba sikhanya bethu kungaba ngento tibane temgwaqo letibe nako kuphazamiseka. Lapha enhlangano tibane temgwaqo letingasebenzi ngasiya lesilapha ngaseposini kani ke edolobheni laseMbabane khona tibane letilapha ngasechumana naleti letilapha eBus Rank nale tibuke kanye nayo iKFC lapha ngaseplaza nakhona atisebenzi elangeni lalamuhla. Kungaba ukuthi lapha edolobheni lakaManzini khona tibane temgwaqo letingasebenzi ngonatiya letilapha eNazarene. Kungaba kumusa nje ukuthi lokho lesibane lesi tingasebenzi bantu bayanyuswa lokuthi bashayele ngalokukhulu ukucophelela. Kepha ke lapha edolobheni lakaManzini emaphoyisa akhona ubambisa sive kwatise ukuthi indzawo lebhizi kakhulu leya. Kani ke etindzaweni letinye ngekwehlukana kufaka ikhathi lapha emafutheni ngaka-Rouse nawuqhamuka la kwakhiwa khona Canto kunayo itraki lebeyisolo imile kusukela ngayitolo bazamile kubafuna banikati bayo kwakhazakala ukuthi bayishiye yodwana ikhathi emgwaqweni. Kepha sinalo lethemba ukuthi ngalokuthi timpawu tibekiwe kuyakhona ukuthi kuhambeke. Kani ke lapha nawubheka khona eshiselweni nawenza nje lapha endaweni yasemkhozo kukhona nje ke iplaza yakhona kunemhlaba ke longenile ke lapho emgwaqweni lokubangwe ikukula. Siyanyusa nje ke ukuthi nawubheka khona ishiselweni utawenza kunaya iplaza yasemkhozo kunemhlaba lomkhulu lapho lota kanye natikukula longene khona emgwaqweni lungakuphathamisa wena lo sebenzisa wona umgwaqo ngoba phela wathi lemgwaqo lo ulitiyela kani utawufike ukhanze imvunduma yemhlabathi leyendiwe imvula. Ngaphandle kwaloko etindaweni letahlukahlukene kungaba kuqwayisa nje ke ngemfuyo lebonakalako isemgwaqweni. Ngiphinde singixwayise nangawo ema-potholes labese ayavumbuka kuvela phela kwatise phela kwekuthi leminye imigwaqo beyinako kwekuthi ingabonakali ema-potholes ngenxa yale mvula legugumulile ema-potholes esavukile. Kungusa nje ke ukuthi sishayele ngalokukhulu ukucophelela sinikane wona phela emathuba sisayisebenzisa imigwaqo yelive siqaphele nayo imfuyo lebonakalako etindzaweni letinenge. Kungaba ngiloko lenkubikako elangeni lalamuhla ngethembe ukuthi eMaswati atawuphepha asayisebenzisa imigwaqo yelive.
Sibonga kakhulu Inspector Sehlo Dlamini lo yazivetela sithombe sesimo semgwaqo lomhla ekseni. Asibahlele emakethe sibe masinyane netindzaba desengezi.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
Ujala masada mahle kunathi lesa.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokho
Sifile sive sikhulume.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is the 7 o'clock bulletin. The Honourable Minister of Public Service, Mabulala Masego, says government will not merge the Eswatini National Provident Fund with the Public Service Pension Fund. However, a Social Security Fund will be formed. The Honourable Minister was speaking in Parliament on Monday.
Senator Chief Zabeni Shiba, seconded by Senator Lizinkosi, moved that the Senate adopt a report of the Portfolio Committee of the Ministry of Public Service on the benchmarking exercise on the Public Service Pension Fund that was done in Zambia and Tanzania.
Civil servants asatikhanza awasayitholi nale lump sum kanzi kuqala bebatholi lump sum sebatholi i-direct benefit lapha sebathola i-defined benefit bathatha ke le entity lebese ibabambele lokhu baba mixe enkantolo bathatha nyathelo vele ukuthi cha ngoba lapha sekuyasiluzisa yafika inkantolo yasi kude lophocelelekile ukuthi angene ngalapha kule social security.
The honorable senators made their submissions.
Go retreat the baga NPF lapha basichazela ukuthi cha bona ba 100% funding level yakho and basho ukuthi ima assets abo at 5 billion. Then get sikhuluma na PSPF at 35 billion to be precise. Kwakuthi ke utawukhona ini SNPF nabakubuka bona kwakuthi athathe lo lenhlathulo enkulu angilolo yokana lencane yena imide.
My concern umaster bese siyagcuma sihlanganisa lama silos kusengasuku mina ngibena yinye angibekise indzaba yaka Dlela Ndongeni awise indzala lendzaba leni.
The Honourable Minister of Public Service, Mabulala Masego, debated and responded to the questions of the House.
Ngicabanga ukuthi le model yasenango yaseTanzania yona lekahle lethi lama civil servants akabe bodwana nalaba private sector babe bodwana. However, kuloko lonkuviwa kukhulunywa ke lakhaya kumbe kona engeke ukuthi awusebenza ngokuthi kuyobita ukuthi phela kumumqashi public service kube khona la ku contributako eceleni hayi ukuthi awudeductor kule mali le contributor PSPF kube khona kumbe la khiphako kuyoshona ngale kule social security fund lesithi sifuna kuyakha.
Senate President Senator Lindiwe Dlamini put the matter in a vote and the Senate adopted the committee's report. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Suekoza with Simova Shongwe and Bongan Masugu, Parliament.
The Senate says it is critical for African countries to improve in green economy strategies and the use of artificial intelligence in Africa. The senators were speaking in Parliament on Monday.
When the Senate resumed for parliamentary duties, Senator Prince Mpatfa, seconded by Senator Princess Ngozi, moved for the adoption of a report of the Association of Senates, Shura and equivalent councils in Africa and the Arab world, ASECA, Committee on the 11th retreat held in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea.
Environment tabu wanakhona lapho ukuthi i-environmental impact ingamitigate kanjani kwabonakala ukuthi ukhulu lefuna sikwende singemava se-Africa kuyabita ukuthi sale sithi njinje lathini kwakuthi mhlambe lokuba green sale standard lathini singasayo simhlambe sitawubuka lapha nalapha avele sinjinje taba khona tindzaba ke tabo artificial intelligence bonakala ukuthi ingabe athini lama challenges nema opportunities because every coin has got two sides. Senda njani sibambisana kuphi for the betterment of our African countries.
Lo mhlangano waboma ke kwafuna ukuthi bakhala bathi beyafuna ukuthi boma ke babe baningi kungachamuki nje ngathi uchamuka bobabe kuphela kube nabo babe kakhulu kuleyo ndzawo leyo masekuhlangano.
The Senate debated the report.
Artificial intelligence lesibonako lokuthi technology vele lobonako ukuthi iyasonzela nje sithinga lokho ukuthi mhlambe sibe netindlela ukuthi si regulate kanjani.
Siboma ke eParliament siyathanza ukuthi sisekele le report yemfana inkosi ngoba ikhulumisa tindzaba leti senhlitweni yethu si Women's Parliamentary Caucus.
It is us and through such meetings that we are able to positively portray an image that befits the country.
Before the House was adjourned on Monday, the Honourable Senate adopted the report. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Suekoza with Zimuva Shongwe and Bongan Masugu, Parliament.
The Met Department has issued a warning advising the public to be safe from severe thunderstorms and hailstorms overnight till Tuesday.
We're seeing that we have thunderstorm developments over our country these days. We're seeing similar conditions this evening. There could be severe in some places. When we talk about severe weather, we're talking about when we have maybe strong winds. We could have some rain as well, and maybe showers. We could have also some hail there, and even strong winds around the thunderstorm cloud that could be passing in an area inside our country. We're expecting these conditions to prevail over most parts of the country this evening, especially over some western parts and some areas in the northeast of our country. Though we know that most of our weather systems will develop over the western parts and then move over the country to the east. These are conditions that we're expecting to prevail even this afternoon. We have hot weather this afternoon, and then the development of those thunderstorm clouds that could be accompanied by hail as well as strong winds, possibly maybe severe lightning in some areas. With the cool, we could be seeing those kind of conditions. We're just saying to the nation, let's keep ourselves abreast and be on the lookout. Once you hear severe lightning coming closer to you, that means you are in danger of being struck by lightning. We're just saying to the nation, let's be on the watch out. Again, hail also is very likely that once you have severe thunderstorms, there's also possibilities of hail in some areas. So then it may look very, very big, but in terms of thunderstorm clouds build up, it could cover the whole country in an instant. 30 minutes to an hour, 2 hours, we'll find that you have huge thunderstorms that are passing by our shores from the west to the east within 2 hours, causing havoc in some areas. So I say even this afternoon, this evening, we could be seeing those kind of conditions as well as tomorrow. Though tomorrow, we're again expecting some thunderstorms that could be accompanied by a bit of light rain or some rain in some areas, though we're expecting to spread, maybe isolated, spreading from the west to the east. But chances are that tomorrow morning we could be hearing some thunder. In the morning, don't be shocked if you hear some thunder in some parts of our country.
Some homestays from Bigwake in Matapa have suffered massively from the extreme winds from Sunday night, which did a lot of damage around that area.
Sabona vele le ndlu iphakama ngala sase siphumile sinelabanye ngalima lapha egaraji kamntwanami.
Elder Dlamini says her home was already leaking, so the extreme wind caused damage in lifting the roof from one of the rooms which had 2 beds where the family would sleep. Matogoza Dlamini says that he was inside the house with his wife when the roofing began pulling away from the walls of the house in the middle of the night, and he tried to shift some of the furniture to other rooms just in case it rains.
Mningi kakhulu kunemakhaya le kubomahlabathini la kusuke khona yonke le roof la sesibuya khona.
Gwaluseni MP Honorable Sifiso Shongwe further explained that they have seen a number of homesteads and still looking for more alongside Red Cross to try and help those who got affected from the storm.
Kuningi nje lokukhona lokwendekalako siyazama lokhu sifike kubo bonke.
Reporting for Eswatini TV is Princess Mahlalela and Themba Shabangu in Matapa.
A Zimbabwean national, Delight Moyo, who was arrested in Eswatini on charges of stealing immigration documents, fraud, bribery and corruption, alleges that Lungile Mazibuko, an assistant immigration officer and an accomplice witness, is the mastermind behind the crimes. Moyo made this claim while cross-examining the state witness during the court proceedings. The case involving Moyo and another assistant immigration officer, Mboneni Zwane, is before Mbabane Principal Magistrate Fikile Ntlabati.
Represented by his attorney, Sivesonke Ngonya accuses the state witness Lungile Mazibuko of being the mastermind behind the planning and execution of the crime involving the theft of immigration documents. Ngonya claims that the witness was the only one permitted to stamp the passports, not Moyo. The witness says despite this, Moyo was also essential in the commission of the crime. She adds that Moyo got a phone number from Mboneni Zwane and also claims that she does not know Moyo personally. When the trial began, the state witness testified that every time she stamped the passport, she received 400 Malangeni to 700 Malangeni. Her evidence also reveals that Moyo and Heson Kwanyane's wife were responsible for bringing and collecting the passport that needed to be stamped illegally. Lawyer Ngwenya continues his cross-examination of the witness, questioning why she never reported the crime to the police. He accused that this is because she was receiving money in addition to drawing a government salary. Ngwenya accuses the witness of playing a major role in the crime and failing to report it, insisting that she should also be arrested. In response, the witness says she does not know why she was not arrested, as that she does not understand how the police operate. She admits that what she was involved in was a crime but chose not to report it to the police. She explains that her role was to stamp the passport and enter them into the system used by the South African Immigration Office. Wenya suggests that her main motive for participating in the crime was to receive money. She denies this, saying she was dragged into it by Nkwanyana. She also admits that she never reported the illegal activities to the police, including receiving money. Ngwenya further accuses her of misleading Moyo into believing that the passport had been processed legitimately. He claims that she told Moyo that the passport were entered into South African immigration system, implying that there was nothing illegal about them. The witness denies this, saying she never told Moyo that the passport were legitimate, but only informed him that they were entered into the system at the South African Immigration Office. Ngwenya continues to press the witness, claiming that she, along other accomplices, including Kwanyana, orchestrated the crime and misrepresented the situation to Moyo. The witness denies this, insisting that Moyo was aware of the illegal nature of the activity. She states that Moyo was involved in the crime because if he were using his own Zimbabwe passport legitimately, he would not have requested it to be stamped in his absence, as was done with illegitimate passport. The trial is adjourned to continue later, where lawyer Osborne Zima, representing Zwane, is expected to cross-examine the state witness. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla, Magistrate Court.
Over 100 small-scale business holders will be trained on the importance of greening their businesses. Financial Inclusion Manager Prudence Mnisi says they are preparing small and medium enterprises to benefit from green financing in the future as the country is signatory to international agreements to combat climate change.
We are basically looking at the recommendations of the roadmap in terms of what the SMEs needs to do to transition their operations towards the greener economy and contribute towards reducing the emissions into the space. So the roadmap has a number of recommendations that not only are to be implemented by the SMEs, but also by the banks, because we know that currently the banks are quite particular because of the climate change issues for SMEs that do not have insurance. So these are the other issues that we are looking into in terms of what is it that the SMEs in collaboration with the banks needs to do to ensure that they also contribute towards the climate action.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Federation of Eswatini Business Community, Ben Simelane, says in order for businesses to benefit from green financing in future, they need to have knowledge of how their businesses can go green.
To explain, you are aware that Eswatini is a signatory to the Paris Agreement, which means then that we committed to do something to manage and also to fight against the deterioration of the environment. So there has been a study that was carried out by CFI to identify what can be done by everyone, including MSMEs, to reduce the carbon or to green the environment. And the study has been completed, and there has been some action items that has been identified. And some of those involve participation of the MSMEs. That's the reason why we have done this workshop, so that we can create the awareness with the MSMEs. We are rolling out this workshop in all 4 regions, and each region we have about 80 people registered.
International Monetary Fund says businesses can attract more grants by demonstrating how they have reduced the negative environmental effects of their products and services.
For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
The Youth Chamber of Commerce Industries Eswatini is gathering information from the youth on how they can create a preferred future in the business space. The president, Kusile Nsibanzi, says they want help from stakeholders to be directed to where it really is needed and will make the needed impact.
This activity is important because oftentimes you find that we want the same thing, but it is not really written down. And so we used a 3-horizon framework to actually collect all of the opinions of the young people that were represented in the event. And so we're collecting them now to create some sort of a consultative document that will help the city to also understand what the youth want.
Bayanda Kumalo, president of the National Youth Cooperatives Alliance, says this opportunity will allow for growth of small and medium enterprises, especially those of the youth.
And one thing that surfaced during the meeting was that young people need to collaborate whenever they are doing business. You'd find, for instance, that there's one maybe a youth business that's already thriving, but then in order to contribute to whatsoever the business is doing, you find that they're only doing it for themselves other than involving more young people and engaging them in whatever they do. So basically, in short, it's peer-to-peer sharing in terms of the information, how they did it and how the other company can also be part of what they want to do.
According to the Center for Financial Inclusion, small and medium enterprises hire about 93,000 people, and most of them are owned by the youth.
For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
In international news, Israel launched a new attack on the historic port city of Tyre in southern Lebanon on Monday after issuing new evacuation orders. Residents of Shemosta in eastern Lebanon tried to understand why their city, where Israel strikes killed at least one person, was targeted. There's no militant present, said one resident. Israel gangs would not be able to do this if it wasn't for American support and the silence of the Arabic Islamic states that are providing cover for this.
Smoke still billowed as rescue workers searched for survivors. Some put out flames while others ferried the wounded on stretchers. They would discover multiple people killed by the Israeli strike that hit the southern port town of Tyre in the early hours of Monday morning. Hours later, an Israeli military spokesperson told citizens to leave once again. His directions were for large swathes of the Lebanese town, including those already under evacuation orders.
Hezbollah's activities forced the IDF to act against it forcefully. As we do not intend to harm you, you must immediately move out of the area marked in red and head north of the Awali River.
Then came more bombing. Northeast in the town of Shamshta, west of Baalbek, residents were also reeling from an Israeli strike. Some were trying to make sense of why their town was a target.
As you can see, there was a fridge, washing machine, and household items. There's no militant presence. The Israeli gangs would not be able to do this if it wasn't for American support and the silence of the Arab and Islamic states that are providing a cover for this.
Along the border in southern Lebanon, Israel continued its air assault, while Hezbollah claimed its fighters had targeted, quote, an Israeli enemy troop gathering. The Iran-backed group also continued its cross-border rocket and artillery fire. In northern Israel, air raid sirens rang out as smoke shot through the sky, followed by the sounds of explosions.
Georgia's President Salome has accused Russia of meddling in her country's legislative elections, which took place over the weekend, and is asking the West for support. Opposition parties are refusing to recognize the official results of this weekend's parliamentary vote, which favor the pro-Russia Georgian Dream Party. The Kremlin has denied any role in Georgia's internal affairs.
President accusing Russia of meddling in her nation's elections and is asking the West for support. Opposition parties refuse to recognize the official results of this weekend's parliamentary vote, which favor the pro-Russia Georgian Dream Party.
I'm accusing the ruling party of having used Russian forms, Russian methods, and probably some type of Russian planning for this really special operation. Nobody was expecting what happened, which was very well organized, very sophisticated type of frauds.
Georgia's Electoral Commission reports the Georgian Dream Party won about 54% of the vote. But many voting violations and cases of intimidation were reported, including by EU election observers.
Our European Parliament teams witnessed in some precincts high tension, confusion and chaos. In one case, ballot box stuffing.
2 exit polls conducted during the election showed the opposition winning a majority of seats in parliament. And an increasing number of Western countries and organizations have called for an investigation into the results, including the US, France, and the EU.
We have made it clear that the EU expects the Georgian Central Election Commission and other relevant authorities to fulfill their duties, to swiftly, transparently, and independently investigate.
Georgia's opposition has not made public any evidence of Russian involvement in the election, and for its part, the Kremlin denies any interference, saying it has no intention of meddling in Georgia's internal affairs.
Ankara is watching the U.S. elections closely. Analysts say Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan stands to benefit from either a Donald Trump or Kamala Harris victory, but both scenarios come with risks for the Turkish leader and his aspirations.
With US presidential elections entering their last days, analysts say Ankara sees the outcome as key to Turkish-US relations. Observers note Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have different approaches toward Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
During the past Trump presidency, the political relationship at the highest level between Erdogan and Trump was a strong one, whereas nowadays between Biden and Erdogan, and if Kamala Harris wins, between Harris and Erdogan, is likely to be a much more shallow one.
Erdogan has avoided commenting on the US election, but analysts note that during the Trump presidency, the US and Turkish leaders met 9 times, including a state visit by Erdogan to Washington. In contrast, President Biden met with Erdogan only once, and then briefly on the sidelines of international summits. Analysts say FaceTime with US presidents is vital for Erdogan.
It's very important for his domestic standing and legitimacy. He has built a personalized system, but also convinced his voters, particularly his base, that he is a consequential leader, that Turkey is rising, that is very important.
Erdogan has often spoken warmly of his relationship with Trump, despite the fact he got hit by sanctions over the purchase of Russian missiles while Trump was in the White House. Trump once even threatened to, in his words, totally destroy and obliterate the Turkish economy over Turkey's threats to attack US-backed Syrian Kurdish forces. Trump is calling for more support for Israel in his wars against Hamas and Hezbollah. And analysts say differences could again emerge between the US and Turkish leaders.
President Trump's approach to the Middle East and the conflict between the Palestinians and Israel could actually, escalate the tension in the Middle East to the extent that a regional war could be unavoidable. So yes, the Trump presidency has many opportunities for Turkey, but it's very high risk.
While there has been little direct contact between Biden and Erdogan, Turkish-US relations have improved, with the 2 NATO allies increasingly cooperating. Analysts see both benefits and risks for Ankara, regardless of who wins the US election.
Kamala Harris administration would mean more continuity, but promise of a stability in Turkish-US relations, whereas Trump is so unpredictable that it could be very good, very bad, up very good one day and very bad one day.
With no end in sight for the Middle East war, analysts warn that Trump's unpredictability presents a risk to Ankara, but that Erdogan will still likely covet the opportunity to renew his relationship with Trump.
Japan entered a period of political instability on Monday after its long-time ruling party suffered its worst election performance in 15 years. The election results cast doubt on the makeup of the next government and who will lead it.
Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba hoped Sunday's election would strengthen his leadership. Instead, his coalition fell far short of a majority, weakening his position. As the results came in, Ishiba acknowledged the election has been a tough ride. Many voters were angry over a political funding scandal and the rising cost of living. To stay in power, the ruling LDP must now search for smaller partners. It won't be easy. Many opposition parties have already ruled out a coalition. That could force the LDP into a fragile minority government. Even if he survives, Ishiba will be weakened.
His power and his influence inside the party will be very much undermined. And I don't think he can take any robust initiatives for his own agenda.
Though Ishiba is seen as a foreign policy expert, he may now have to focus on political survival.
Because of the outcome of this election, foreign policy will never be a top priority for the new government.
Japan's broad foreign policy direction is not expected to change, but some fear priorities will shift.
Fewer people, both within the LDP and across the aisle in the parliament, are keen on strengthening Japanese military power. And they're not interested that much in raising tax revenue to help support the growing necessity for Japan to rearm itself more fundamentally.
Most analysts predict the LDP will be able to form a government in the next 30 days, as required by law. But with another key election in July, much more could be at stake for the party that's dominated Japanese politics for decades.
Now, sports news. Spanish midfielders Rodri and Aitana Bonmati were awarded the men's and women's Ballon d'Or award, respectively, for the world's best football players in 2024 at a ceremony in Paris on Monday.
This Vienna conference in late October is the first one held by the UN nuclear watchdog that focuses on small nuclear reactors known as SMRs. Rafael Mariano Grossi, the director of the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, says less developed countries have signed deals to build the SMRs that will...
For the first time since 2018, it's a midfielder who's been awarded football's most prestigious individual prize. And what's more, a defensive midfielder in the name of Rodri. From his beginnings in the Spanish league, playing at Villarreal and Atletico Madrid, to winning the Euro 2024 title with Spain, for which he was voted player of the tournament, Rodri has grown to be recognised as the most impressive midfielder and player on the pitch today.
He can't be replaced. He's the best in the world in his position.
And Rodri has done more than shine for his country. Together with his current club, Manchester City, he's helped his teammates win the Champions League and 4 consecutive Premier League titles. His current absence due to injury has forced City to seriously rethink their game plan.
Everyone knows how important he is, and that's been seen over the last 2-3 seasons of how big of a player he is. Even though he is such an important player, you know, us as players have to come together and say we've got to do it this season without him.
Rodri is out for the rest of the season after rupturing his anterior cruciate ligament. He's the third Spaniard to have won the Ballon d'Or, following Alfredo Di Stefano and Luis Suarez over 60 years ago.
And that's it for our second bulletin. Thank you for staying with us. Let's leave you with the weather.
kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi.
Aba research bafunze.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sente ukukhicita lokhu sekungeni.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 76222000 or dial *007*3*7#, or you can use Eswatini Imali. And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any NetBank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
All right, it's 33 minutes after 7. Thank you for staying with us on the program. Sifuna kungena on our second interview segment now on a very important segment. Njengoba ke debuchwephesha tichubeka nekutfutfuka ngekushesha umngoti lokuhambisana nebugebengu bangcondo mshina computer crime kanye nebugebengu becyber nabo ke buyanza kanzi ke tincwaningo letinsha tikhombisa kwanza kwaletigameko kanzi ke lokhu kukhombisa ke nesidingo setindlela lecinile tekwatisa kanye nekuvikela Eswatini Computer Crime kanye ne-Cyber Crime Act of 2022 ibeka ke tigwebo lecinile kanye ke nemikhombandlela yekulwa naletinsongo kucinisa ke kubaleka kwekucaphela kwehlangothi lwahulumende nele private sector sifuna ke kuxoxisana nafisiwe vilale lokumphathi wetindzabade bathe kunekuchumana kumlawulo wetekuchumana kusikhanyisela nje asihlolisise luhlaka lwetemthetho siphinze ke sicoce nangetinyathelo tonke lesingatithatha kude sivikele tindzawo tethu kudebuchwephesha. You will remember that there was an article leke yaphuma emaphephandzabeni leveta sigwebo lesi ingadlali lesingahlekisani ngokuthi wena sawuthatha licingo la partner wakho without incenye imvumo yakhe noma ke sithi ngesingisi permission yakhe. Fisiwe, welcome to the program. Very good morning to you. Ngabe unjani namhlekuseni khokho?
Ngivusele Mnguni, sibonge ngivusele nakumbukeli ekhaya. Sibonge lithuba lekuba khona emsakadweni.
Yeah, the article lesike sayibona emaphepheni there's ruffled a lot of feathers. So sakhuluma lokunengi. But encenye singangeni kuyo le article itself. Ake sichaze sihlolisise lemagama lamabili, cyber crime no computer crime. Ngabe yini umehluko kulamagama lamabili?
Lo mthetho wa 2022 vele uphatha kokubili. Computer crime usuke asho bucala lokuhambisana kumbe netimvo letiphathekako. Bongcomvo mshina, lucingo, bongcomvo mshina befu labancane. Yebo konke nje lesikusebenzisako lokuphathekako lokusho ukuthi mangiyebile noma mangithethe ngangena kuyo. Logo kungabitwa ngokuthi kuyi computer crime. Kepha cyber crime angidzingineke ukuthi ngithinze kumbe khona lenkutfumelele kona nje kwenda phici mangabe kumbe uyachafada ecingweni lakho leyo ke seyi cyber crime ngalokho ukuthi nakhona ngisebenzisa tebuchwephesha noma kumbe ngisebenzisa buciko kuthi ngigange kepha kumbe akusiko ukuthi kukhona lokuphathekako lengubonako noma wena lokubonako uma ngabe ngenda lokuganga kwami.
Makes me wonder, does this new phenomenon that we've been seeing recently, I think bokubita ngafaqata scam nyalo, la khona basishaya nxese bababopha nekubabopha bashayela tincingo basi advise ukuthi sendene ngetincingo tethu. Well, ngimi lo chafata lecingo, but I'm being advised by someone else masquerading as someone lo sende imali ngesiphosiso kimi. Those sort of scams are foolish and under any of these two the laws were mentioned.
Wona sekayi cyber crime.
Okay.
Ngalokwe ukuthi pheceleti I'm now exploiting technology kuze kuthi ngikhona ekuganga noma kube ngithole imali yakho. Lokusho ukuthi kona ke bese sekuba yi cyber crime. Ukhona vele lo mehluko ikakhulu uhambelana nekwekuthi kube khona lokuphathekako lokungileta imvu lesidisebenzisako ukuze kuthi sihambise lwadi noma kumbe i-information.
Ngifuna singene ku illegal access nabo unauthorized login. Nako ngathi kuba indzaba lenkulu ngiyabona nje lana ukuthi ngathi kudefinewa ngematemu lamakhulu kodwa ke lenkutholako ukuthi nako kuletha inhlawulo lekhulu quite significant penalties. Engabe letinkinga letinkulu noma tinkulu kangakanani vele mayelana nalendzaba le futhi yini bantfu netinhlangano lokufanele bakucaphele kude bavimbele lenhlawulo.
Uqinisile vele ngempela sonto ngicabanga ukuthi inkulumo lebeyigcwele yonke indzaba yalo 300,000 lekuthiwe inhlawulo noma kumbe liswati uma ngabe uthethe licingo la loyo lo thandzana naye noma kumbe lo hlala naye angakakuniketi imvume. Lo mthetho awukedeli lokuthi manje utohlukanisa abantu noma kumbe ubacabanise noma kunjani. Uhambisana nje nekwekuthi etincingweni tethu noma kumbe kubo mahlale khukhwini kanye nabo bongcomvomshina bethu kuba nemininingwano lapho lemcoka lo mngcomvomshina ngendeka kube wasemsebentini nalelicingo lami ngendeka kube ngitfola imilayeto yasemsebentini nasekhaya nje kumbe khona leminye imilayeto labangisendela yona umndeni wami le kutindzaba tabo kumbe timfihlo tasisi wami kumbe kumcoka lokuthi manje ke loyo lengithandzana naye noma lengihlala naye siphinze futhi sikhone lokuthi sihloniphe leto tindzaba tebamfu. Ngingavumelana nawe ukuthi manje ke kudinginga ungalisebenzisa licingo lami timfo tala khaya sitende ayikho inkinga. Kepha ke lo mthetho uphinze ukhulumisa lokuthi vela yibe khona lemvume kuze ukuthi nami ngidokhululeka ukuthi manje ke wena uvumelekile ukuthi manje ke ulisebenzise licingo lami. Kwesibili ngilokwe ukuthi uma ngabe sengikukhombisa mina etithombe ecingweni lami wena so usuka etithombeni so uyaka WhatsApp naloko angakavumi ngoba sivumelano sethu besithi manje ke wena ubuka tithombe lokusho ukuthi kufuna kube naleti info lekufuna ukuthi bamfu baticaphele. Kepha ke uma ngabe navumelana ukuthi lucingo nikhululekile ngalo kude inkinga le kube sekuba mcoka as well ngilokwe ukuthi nakule sikubita ukuthi consent noma kumbe imvume iyachubeka lokusho ukuthi mangabe ngiconsentile namuhla kusasa base ngithi angisafuni akusho ukuthi manje ke angingisakhona ukuthi what they call withdrawing consent. Ngasho nje kusasa ukuthi manje ke licingo lami angisafuni ukuthi manje ke ulithinzi ngalokwe ukuthi manje ke lami lo 300,000 ke vele ngicabanga ukuthi leliswadi lo selikhona kule minyaka yanyalo so uhambelana nalomthetho ukuthi ubekwe nini akusasiko nje le mithetho lokhanza ukuthi iliswadi lakho na 60 emalangeni nalokwe ukuthi ubuka lokwe ukuthi le lokuganga loku uma ngabe nje ngingangena ebhange through cyber crime ngiheke isystem yakhona the amount of damage that could actually happen vele kuyafuneka lokho ukuthi manje ke labo 300,000 noma bo 1 million kube ngiwo lama fines nami uma ngabe sengimshaya partner wami noma sengimbulala partner wami siyabona lokwendekako emaphepheni ukuthi bayabulalana ngenxa yokuthi lokunye ekhambelana nekokuthi uthole ini ecingweni lakhe noma kunjani kufuna vele lo swati lube ngilolishaya kuvakale.
So the 300,000 wasn't a mistake or a typo from our our colleagues noma ke ngisho ukuthi balingani bethu baka print media. The 300,000 is there, it is entrenched.
300,000 actually kuneSwati lo ledlula lo 300,000.
Wow.
Lo 300,000 yena ubuke indzaba yekwe ukuthi manje ke ngingene ecingweni lemuntu angakanginiki noma ngiphinze futhi ngivule icingo lemuntu angakanginiki. Lokusho ukuthi ngiyenteka ukuthi manje ke ngangena kulo ukuthi ngilithethe vele ngalivula kepha ngaphinze futhi ukhanzelo ukuthi manje ngoba senginayo ipassword yakhe noma nganginika mina ufuna lokho ukuthi manje ke ngibe nemvume ukuthi ngibuke le timvu lesivumelene ukuthi ngidadibuka hayi ukuthi bese sengena kumbe kulamanye emakhasi ecingweni lakhe lesingakavumelani ngawo.
Yeah. Ngibonela omunye a commenter ku social media ukuthi naku stawunjing amalula. So it's quite interesting how all of this is going to unfold, but you know lendlela okuchaza ngakhona kuyakhanyisa lo ukuthi vele lo Swati kufuna lube ngaka. When you make the examples of ukuthi umuntu angangena ku account yakho yasebhange and the damage there that they can do is far greater than 300,000 probably for other people, as well as some personal information that is not, you know, cannot be monetized with the value of money. It's far more priceless than 300,000. So
Fundisa sakho singalimala nje silimali ngenxa yokuthi ngibone
yes
lengubonile ecingweni lakho noma kumbe ukhanze ukuthi emsebenzini wakho kukhona lomunye longenile kumbe kuloyo ngcombomshina lomsebenzisakho so ubone kumbe umholo wakho so ubone tinkhulumo lobenato nalabanye bamfu lekungakafuneki ukuthi manje ke atibone kunengakhulu longakhanza ukuthi bamfu vele bangakutfola uma ngabe basebenzisa letimvu lesisebenzisako bochwephesha ngalokungasikwe emthethweni.
Asike sibuke lenzaba yabo data interference nabo espionage. Sibuke lama penalties lakhona lapho, because it seems as if there are quite a lot of penalties nakhona that are significant with illegal data interference and data espionage. Ngokuthi ngabe vele how do we aim to deter potential offenders ngoba bakhona labo vele labahlale bacabanga kuganga bangene etingcingweni tethu bathathe leyo data yethu, like you are saying sifundise umuntu sisho lokukhulu ngemuntu nyalo kune we've seen bantu bathi bayalika, we are leaking audios, we are leaking videos, we are leaking conversations. You know, talk to me about yona indzaba ye data interference and espionage ukuthi vele how does it aim to deter potential offenders lo mthetho?
Okay, kunelwati loluningi njengoba bengisho lohlala kubongcombomshina bebamfu nelicingo selaba ngcombomshina ngalokho ukuthi so ukhanza ukuthi kunemafayila la kahleli lapho. Umuntu kungena khona ede imvume ungakhanza ukuthi ayine ukuthi ungakhanza vele sebayakwenda lokho ukuthi umuntu masekana lawo mafayila akho bese sokufuna imali wena athi uma ngabe unganginiketi le mali ngidawube semine sengithengisa lolo lwate emaphepheni noma kumbe ngdawo bese sengufaka makhasi abongcombomshina ukhanzelo ukuthi vele sengigcina sengibhadala imali noma kumbe sengisesandleni saloyo muntu ngalokho ukuthi ungenile la. Sibonile futhi indzaba ukuthi manje ke bamfube bakhona ukuthi bangene babukete imali ukuthi ihamba kuphi disuke kubani tiye kubani ngaleso sikhathi leso uma ngimniketa lo muntu mina le mali injongo yamakusiko ukuthi ngifuna wonke umuntu lamhlabeni adi ukuthi manje ke mina ngithumelele sifiso imali lengaka lokusho ukuthi nako lokho kuyenda lokho ukuthi imininingwane yami lefihlekile ukhanzela ukuthi manje ke seyihamba ebaleni lo mthetho lona ubuke lokho ukuthi angikhethe mina uma ngabe mina ngithumelele wena imali ngase sengiyadikhethela ukuthi manje ke bese ngiyamemetela kumbe sengifake ka WhatsApp wami ku status noma kuphi ukuthi ngikuphe leyo mali leyo noma nguniketele leyo mali leyo akube ngimi lo funako kungabi ukuthi sidathi sihlalele nje sesifunza ngakwe ephepheni ukuthi manje ke imali ihambe kanjani lokusho ukuthi lo mthetho loyo uzama lokugwema letimvo leti kanjalo ngalesinye isikhathi kuba ngilabamfu lokhanza ukuthi sihlala nabo ba tindzaba tefu bese bayatikhokha nje bathi nyalo ngithatha sithombe nawe ngiyafuna ukuthi ngikucele ukuthi manje ke lesithombe sethu lesi ngakhona yini ukuthi manje ke ngisiposte ngoba ungakhanza ukuthi lokho siposta kwami wena kukhona lapha ukulimata khona noma kumbe bongafisi nje naloko ukuthi bathi la Eswatini TV ukuthi wena uhambile so unami kamanzini bowuthite kumbe uyagula angisho ukuthi manje ke bamfu basebenzise lo mthetho ukuthi manje ke bagange kepha kuba khona nje timo lokhanza ukuthi vele bekungavumi lokho ukuthi kumbe ngisho ukuthi manje ke ngiyapi ngaloko ukuthi kuyimfihlo yami nomakhambelana nami ukhanzelo ukuthi ke mina ngaloko ukuthi sengitikhokhile tindzaba takho nawe setisebaleni kufuna lokho ukuthi manje naloko sikugweme sibamvu lokusho ukuthi nje ezengiticabangela mina ukuthi lwadi lwami ngifuna lube everywhere ngiphinze futhi ngigadze ukuthi mina angiba expose yini labanye abantu around me also ngokuthi tindzaba tabo nabo diphume noma kanjani.
Okay, kuyenteka uThembile Sithombe nemuntu lenivumelene naye bese kuvela umuntu ku background bekade endlulela. I think that's just ngathi lento ngingayichaza kanjani kodwa angibekise ngendvo leyendekile. Ngiyatfalwa ukuthi kunelijaha bathi bekuhlangene balimi ngalana emarket kule eMalkens kunalenye imarket ebalimi kule mpelasonto la ngemambala babhuca lisaka vele ngoba belina nekuna bagcoke amabhutse bakhona ke balimi bahlangana bathi kunelijaha belithite lona lekhaya kule mpelasonto selivela ke sithombeni salabanye bebale kule market ebalimi le Malkens sebalitshethisa kusingana kuyavela lana sikhathi kubuya sekuhalele vele uvabnazi nale artist le performer kwelapha siyayibona icale nga10 ebusuku la uthite wena khona usekhaya khona engabe elijale kanjalo liyakhona yini bese selibopha lo Thembile Sithombe noma sesengilenye indzaba le.
Okay, lo mthetho uphinze futhi ube nemigomo nemibandzela.
Okay.
Kwecala nje lokuthi manje ke mangabe sihamba siya emicimbini lengingasho ukuthi ma public events.
Yes.
Kusho ukuthi imvume yakho yokuthi manje ke ube imfihlo so uvele
Okay.
So uyiyekele ngalokho ukuthi uhambe waya ku public event.
Okay.
Kuphinze futhi kube nalendzaba yokuthi bemaphephandzaba noma nine anisiko aningeni la khathi uma ngabe benibika ngendvo leyendekile lokusho ukuthi nje vele laba labathenga liphepha bafunze ngale ka entertainment basuke banale interest, it's in the public interest ukuthi ngabe vele bekwentekani eMalkens ku farmers markets lokusho ukuthi sengitfuke nje nami ngatfola emasaphatelo yebo kepha ke vele bengilapho betindzaba batawuba khona ngaloko ukuthi bayafuna ukuthi bakhangise ukuthi ngabe bekwentekani kusho ukuthi kuyasuka ke lapho kepha uma ngabe sebangangena endlini lapho sekuyasuka lokho ukuthi manje ke vele ingabe le public interest beyikuphi lokusho ukuthi lapho ke sengiyakhona ukuthi nami ungakhanza lokho ukuthi manje ke sekukhona lengikhala ngako kuleyo ndzaba leyo.
Yeah, bese kungikhathata ngoba nje as a media practitioner myself ngiyadwe ukuthi basinika bo media accreditation and we go through a few protocols to get leyo accreditation leyo so bekungangilimata kuva ukuthi angisakhoni kushutha ku public event la khona ngiapplyile nganiketwa imvumo ukuthi ngangene ngishuthe anything lengikhanzako la ngekhathi ngicanga kuyasikhulula lokho sosifundisile ke lelo hlangothi lolo i-cyber terrorism legislation siyathwala ukuthi nayo sekhathate cishe nje umhlaba wonke kanti it is also encompassed in this piece of legislation ngabe yona le Eswatini Computer Crime and Cyber Crime Act i-addressa kanjani yona nema penalties la khona to counter these threats.
Cyber terrorism ke vele ibukiwe nayo lo mthetho lona wakhiwe ubuka lokwentekako umhlaba wonke lokusho ukuthi lokuthi asikakayibona ithine la Eswatini akusho ukuthi manje ke angeke ize yendeke bangasingenela nathi ukhanze ukuthi liphekilwa likhuni se bayangena nathi la kithi basebenzisa tona tebuchwepheshe ubekiwe ke $500,000 ukuthi ngilo Swati lokuthi manje ke loyo nje lotfolakala kokuthi manje ke usebenzise ebuchwepheshe ukuthi kumbe asite ema terrorist noma kumbe any kind of terrorist activity laveni ngu 500,000 vele ifine yakhona uphinze futhi kube na 10 years longamhlala ejele kungenteka futhi kube kokubili kubuke lesifo saloko ukuthi manje ke ingabe ugange kangakanani.
It's going to be interesting because I do believe there's a matter lesenkantolo lengene itolo that plays very, very close to la malayini lawa lowatekako njalo ukuthi ngabe itawungena kulo mthetho lona noma kangeke but sitabe siyilandzela sethemba ukuthi uma ngabe ingena kuloku kutaba ngiyona leyo nhlawulo leyo yabo 500,000 ngabe lawo ma-culprits atawukhona enikhokha timbasha letingaka but ke kunenzaba lemcwa kakhulu child protection and cyber grooming. I-act lena lengasho ukuthi include ama-penalties nanawo la-severe swat lakhona and rightfully so. Engabe wona ungangichazela kanjani umbukeli lapha ekhaya ngoba siyathola ukuthi kunabo child pornography nabo cyber grooming sibonile nje eMelika kunemhlabeleli long P Diddy sabona na Andrew Tate yes but kungathi kwathiwa yena akagangi sijubo saveta ukuthi akagangi Andrew Tate but imithetho lefana naleyo ihambisana igameko lefana naleto ungasichazela kabani?
Vele lo mthetho lona ubukile tindzaba tebantfwana kakhulu ngalokho ukuthi siyabona ngakhuluma ngeAmerica kepha sekuningi nalaswatini lokho ukuthi bamfa bethu siyabaniketa vele labo mahlale ekhukhwini bayasebenzisa nalabo ngcuma mshina kanti kuningi kuganga lokukhona lapho lokupepetela abamfla abadzala kepha bafaka nalabamfana ekhatsi. Lo mthetho lona ubukeke ukuthi manje ke wakhanzakala unetitfombe tebamfana ecingweni lakho noma kumbe kungcombo mshina wakho letingasiko kahle bamfana bangcunu bamfana kumbe benta timvo letingasiko tebamfana tebamfla abadzala lapho kuna 1 million kuphindze futhi kube na 10 years ungaphindze futhi ukutfole kwekubili kuya ngokuthi manje ke kutfolakele ini. Lo mthetho ubuke kugwema ke ikakhulu budlelwane emkhathini webamfana nebamfla abadzala kepha nasemkhathini webamfana nebamfana nalokho ukuthi yebo bayasebenzisa abangcomvo mshina nabo mahlale ekhukhwini kepha akumele ngabe babasebenzisela etindzabeni letinjalo. Siyathi kukhona abamfla abadzala labatfolakele ukuthi bacela abamfana babashuthe letitfombe noma kumbe babashuthe bona letitfombe lokhanza ukuthi manje ke atisiko kahle. Vele lo mthetho ubuke nje ukuthi licingo lakho balithatha uma ngabe sekunalolo kusola but ikhanza letitfombe vele lacingweni lakho wena nje ukumele vele lo 1 million uma ngabe ugwetshwa noma loyo 10 years noma kokubili ku
yeah bo OnlyFans nabo bantu banyana onke laba platforms la sakhona la kutsata abantwana ukuthi bende letinfo letifana naleti. I believe we have a responsibility as society ukuthi bantwana sibagatse ukuthi bangadendi because the rise of labo TikTok and all these social media platforms bantwana as gullible and malleable as they are kungabalula ukuthi batikhanze bathatheka yeah. Asingene enzabeni ye preventing online harassment and cyberbullying. Siyathola ukuthi nako kuhlukunyetwa kwebantu ku-internet kanye nekuhlukunyetwa kwebantu ku-internet kunetindlela nje letahlukene tekujeziseka. This also encompassed in this piece of legislation.
Okay, i-cyberbullying lapho siyajabula ngoba vele sesiwabonile lamacala sekangenile sekunebamfla abagwetshiwe lokusho ukuthi siyathemba ukuthi sekutayishintsha indlela yokuthi iphatha emaswatini makhambelana laletindzaba leti lokho ukuthi uma ngabe ngibona sithombe sakho kude sidingo sekwekuthi bese mina sengikhulumisa ukuthi umcomvo wakhe noma kumbe inhloko yakhe enkulu noma kunjani letimvo lesikhulu esathi ukuthi kuyanyongwana noma kumbe besimdlalisa umuntu ukhona ke 200,000 lapho noma 2 weminyaka ejele lebuke indzaba ye cyberbullying. Ngalokho ukuthi ke futhi iye ifake nebamfana nalapho solo siyabavikela abamfana. Uyafuna ke lokho ukuthi manje ke lo muntu lo solako noma kumbe lo sabone isithombe sakhe sesisetshenziswa ngayo leyo ndlela abe nabo lobufakazi. Take a screenshot, save it, whatever that needs to happen because siyabona naloko ukuthi bamfu bathi mababikiwe ukhanze kuthi babuka indlela yokuthi bangadelete njani lokho lebakwendile.
Bese simakhulu isikhathi sakho lomhla kusense thembe ukuthi amaswati kukhulu la kufunzile nalawo ma potential offenders and those that were thinking about making such offenses sebashintsha kucalada nyalo ngoba loSwati adlali millions of emalangeni, hundreds of thousands of emalangeni should you commit these crimes. We're understanding the Computer Crime and Cybercrime Act of 2022 with Kusile Vilane, the Manager of Consumer Affairs and Communication. Let's go for a net break. Stop with us for the
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
Kunjalo masoda amahle kunathi lesa.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu
Sifile sive sithi khulumeni.
sesifike maphethelweni ehlelo lethu lalo muhla sibonga kakhulu ukuthi nihleli nathi eluhlelweni. I think kuxwayisa nje ukuthi bakaMatt basikhumbuta ukuthi leli viki impela bathi tena lamuhla ngento yakwendekele kulesi kubone idolo kwendekile eshiselweni kwendekile kaManzini eNgculwini amongst the most affected areas. Sikubonile nalapha eMbabane, thunderstorms, hail and heavy rains. If you do have property that could be easily damaged, you can start, trying to find means of preparing yourself ukuthi ingalimali leyo mpahla leyo.
Yeah, ngelawa lokho sanibona kusasa. Have a beautiful day. Nsale kahle.
We are Premier League.
There's the finish. There's been opening here for Welbeck, forcing his way through.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds, full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, to feel the rush of life overwhelm you, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. You ask, and we give you the royal experience. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. There are but a few places